Welcome to the live. For those who are joining me this evening, just going to wait to see if there's more people coming up. Sorry, guys, if I look like I'm very tired, but I have been literally sleeping nearly the whole day. Today is a day that I need to recharge, so I haven't been doing much. I just was able to do my hair and I didn't even finish it, and now I'm here. So just waiting. Welcome, beautiful Cecilia. Thank you very much for joining us. Just seeing how much people are going to be in the live, and then we're going to start off. Well, good evening from my side, my dear. Back to you. Welcome, Sharina. Thank you very much for joining the live. Okay, this is definitely going to be a very important part, as a lot of people are going through this at this moment when it comes to soul connections. But first of all, I'm going to first explain what it is. What is a soul connection? Okay, and the different soul connections you have, what happens. So at the end of this reading, if there's any questions that need to be asked, just go ahead for whoever joins. I feel this is very important, especially for those who are in a soul connection and things are not stable, things are stagnant. What do you do? How can you transform the energies? What lessons are there needed to be learnt? So this could be all good and important information. Remember, even all the information I give, I have experienced it also myself. I've been through it, okay? So I'm first going to start, and then definitely we're going to talk about that. And there's one thing at the end, I'm going to talk about a certain connection, which is actually not a soul connection, but a lot of people do experience that and think that it's a soulmate, but that comes to the end. Okay, so first of all, what is actually a soul connection? It's when two people meet and those two, welcome, Janaea, and those two souls click. They make a link with each other. Okay, so it can be that you have a soul contract with that person. Could be from past lives, depends on the situation. For that, you would have to do a soul reading. Or it's the first time. So it's your soul recognizes the soul of the other person. It feels familiar, it feels like you know each other, even though in the physical form, in the physical body, you don't know each other, but you just feel this inner knowing like, hey, this person is a part of me, this person belongs to me. So you get curious, you want to know, like, who is this person? Why am I feeling this? Now, there's different experiences you can have. Some people have glimpses, like in past lives when they had the connection with other people. My own experience with my first soulmate, what I had is I saw the soul, and I saw, like, it was so strange, like diamonds, like the soul, like shining like all diamonds. And I thought to myself, what is this? Is this possible, what I'm seeing? And that was the time that I didn't know that that was one of my soulmates, but it was just so weird. And I got so scared and so overwhelmed of the energy and thinking, like, but I've never seen this person before. So how could I be connected with this person in some way? So those are a few examples that you can have when you connect with somebody else's soul. And if they are a soulmate of yours, different forms, going to go later during the chat about it. But these are just all examples that I want to give you. There are different stages you go through. That's why I feel it's very important that I've categorized the different soulmates, and we'll go into that. And I definitely welcome Jessica, and I'll definitely, each category that I explain, I will definitely show you the elements and what you recognize and what you experience. Is there a possibility that you can connect with someone else who is your soulmate, but they have different elements? And what do I mean by different elements? Could it be possible a twin flame, which is also your soulmate? Yes, it can happen. Hi, my dear. Well, Gonna give you all the information so you'll feel it. So it's just all different things, okay, that you can know in different stages. And it doesn't always mean that when you connected with someone else, that it's just one kind of specific, if it's just a twin or soulmate, to be honest. It's for you to actually learn the lessons with the person, some of the lessons, but you also have some of the lessons to learn by yourself. Welcome, Ma. Oh, I'm very happy. Thank you very much for joining. So these are all things that you can go through and that you can discover. So I'm going to start off first with the theme soulmates. Okay, so this is the earthly naming of a soulmate. That's the first category of a soul connection. So you can see later on, where do you fit into that? Okay, is that the kind of soul connection you have, or is it a twin flame? And at the end, I'm going to talk about another connection, which is definitely not a soulmate connection, but can show you what it is really about. Okay, so then we go to the soulmate. So what really happens, okay, when you encounter your soulmate, you definitely do feel that you know that person, you feel very comfortable with that person, okay? You have been through a lot of lessons in your life and you're ready to settle. You want that relationship, you want that union. They also feel the same. In that connection, it does not only feel a bond of relationship, but it also feels a bond of friendship. Okay, so that person is not only your partner in a relationship, but it's also a partner who is also your friendship. So you get the combination of everything at once. You're very grounded, you're very settled, you're very in high vibration, the both of you. So you really uplift each other. And no matter what you do, who you are, you're supportive towards each other. So these are some of the strong elements what a soulmate really is, that kind of group that I'm talking about. So you know each other, okay? You've got that feeling, you have that instant deep connection, and you definitely know, like, okay, that is my person. That's definitely my person. They belong to me, and you belong to the other person. So the coming together, the melting together, the gelling together goes very easily. You feel comfortable, even if you have fears, those fears move away. But one thing, you're definitely worked through most of your lessons. So you both more in a high vibration and you're ready for union. So you uplift each other. So this is the first group that I'm talking about. So that is good. Okay. So you feel everything. It's energetically, you get the connection. Physically, you support each other. Okay. Even if you might feel triggered, because remember, you guys, when you connect with a soulmate, what does a soulmate actually do? They come into your life to help you evolve, okay, to help you to love yourself, to raise your vibration, and they also help you actually to prepare you, to say goodbye to your old ways, patterns, thinking, your old life, and to prepare you to go to your new self, because you go and grow in stages, you go from chapters in your life. So that's what the soulmate does. And with this group that I'm talking about, they're more grounded. Okay, so when they're more grounded, you can also see what they want, how they support you. So it's more equal give and take. There is not much unbalance, because you have learned a lot of your lessons and your person has also grown up a lot. So they are ready to work on the unionship. So remember, the work is not the coming together, the beginning stage. The biggest work and the challenges come when you are in union and when you have to work with each other. But with the soulmates, it's more balanced and it's more grounded. Now we're going to go to the next one, and that's the challenging one. And I feel a lot of people are in these kind of connections. Because I get a lot of people that come to me, and I do a lot of soul readings because I'm a soul reader, and I get a lot of soul connections. So the next one is a challenging one. We go to the twin flames. Okay, this is the most challenging connection that you can ever experience or ever find. Because you do come together, you do feel that click, but you feel enormous intensity. And when you feel the enormous intensity, what needs to happen first is if you have any old pains, any old wounds that you need to release, these come up to the surface. And that's when you have the runner and the chaser. So one person in that connection is more awake to the connection and knows, okay, we belong together. You are my life partner, possibility. Yes, we can be together. But then the other one is more behind in their awakening stage. They still need to go through a bit more lessons. So the one that is less awakened, they come to a state of panic because once all those old wounds and triggers start coming up, they take the form like, okay, I'm not sure if I can do this. I get overwhelmed, and they become the runner. So in the physical part of the connection, they take their distance. In many cases, they do it just like in silence, or they panic, or they convince themselves and they project their pain onto their person, telling them, I can't do this. This is much difficult and this is challenging. And why is it challenging? Because it's not only about the love in the connection. In that twin flame connection, it means the one that is less awakened needs to grow up, needs to mature, needs to actually let go of their past. And in many cases, they have old wounds, broken hearts, maybe bad relationships, maybe they weren't ready for relationships in the past, and now their twin flame enters their life and they're like, okay, now what do I do? And that's when you have the moment of distancing from each other, and that's when the unbalance comes. But the divine, the universe keeps on calling those two together to say, hey, it's union time. So the one that is more unawakened, of course, they're going to feel the push. The more they deny the connection, the love, the more they don't accept it, the more the heavier the lessons get. So it's something that you can't avoid. Now, there's other readers, they might, of course, say with twin flames, it's more just about the self-love journey. In some cases, you might not come together. That could be possible. But what I feel, what I experience through my guides, in many cases, you're both needed to raise the vibration of love on earth. Okay, because this is all already constructed from the divine, come to earth, and there's a bigger plan and part for you both to come into union. So one thing is, definitely when it's twin flames, you're part of each other's soul. Okay, so you're part of each other's DNA. That's why it is very challenging in the beginning, especially the stuck stage that I talked about. When you distance each other in the physical, you start mirroring each other. But in the way of mirroring, it's you helping each other grow. It won't feel comfortable in most cases. It will feel very painful, and you will think that your twin is actually hurting you by distancing themselves and making you feel all these emotions. But what is most important is when you feel the heaviness, the energy between the both of you and the blocks, you have to dig in deep and you have to see what is yours and what is your twins. You have to learn to cleanse and you have to learn to ground yourself. So it's not easy because this is one of the challenging, really, the twin flames are the most challenging soul connections ever that you can have. Okay? But it's about loving yourself unconditionally and the other person, no matter what, has happened in the past, especially releasing the old pains, because you have to come to a moment in the stage, you have to come to balance. So the one that, of course, has run away, they cannot run away from the connection because the divine keeps on calling and showing them to say, like, no, 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 you can't, because some lessons you have to learn with your person. So just remember, okay? So one is very fully awoken, loves themselves, gone through a lot of life lessons, soul lessons. The other one that is not awake is still struggling, still needs to go through that, still needs to go through the awakening, but they definitely do know that the other person in the twin flame connection is their person, and they know eventually they can't go around it. They just have to learn to come forward, learn to try and find a way to work onto the connection. So, what I strongly feel is with many twin flame connections, yes, there comes a moment in time, depending on learning the lessons and the connection, that you have a reconciliation. But the beginning is very tough, okay? A lot of pain comes out. But when you reconcile, you come really and you come into union. That is when the hard work starts. You might feel for some of you in those connections that the hard work is before. That is nothing, you guys. That is just releasing the old, releasing the old. When you come together, that's when the hard work comes. That's when you have to be compassionate with each other, very loving with each other. Any old belief systems that you had or any old visions of love, that you clear totally away, because it's different. I mean, you feel each other's energy, you feel each other's love, you feel each other's pain. So continuously you like feeling each other's energy. And of course, when you come together, especially also in the physical and not only energetically, you just feel this extreme love, and it feels so intense, and you feel like, you can do whatever you want, and your person feels the same, and it just feels so stable and harmonious. But lessons need to be learned first. Old stuck energy needs to be cleared, and you both need to be balanced. It won't work if one is in high vibration and the other is a bit in lower vibration. That's why the separation happens in the physical. So the one that is struggling learns to grow and not only leans on the other one that is in high vibration to help them, to pull them up energetically. Okay, this is one thing I definitely want to show to you. So it's, of course, yin and yang energy, most important, raise the vibration of love, but also has a deeper purpose and a deeper meaning, because it's also part of a plan of the divine. That's why these soul connections come together. That's why they enter into union. So just remember, okay? And what is most important for many of you out there that you might feel that you're struggling, especially the energies are very intense. This is the year of union. So the divine is calling a lot of soul connections forward, a lot of people forward that have to complete a soul connection, have to complete a union, because it's the bigger plan of the divine. So a lot of us are in these connections and are going through these stages and these experiences. But what is most important is to stand in your own power. This will help you, especially if your soulmate is struggling. Okay, when you love yourself, you stay in high vibration, you cleanse your energy, you ground, you also trigger your soulmate to do the same. And in twin flames, that's the most challenging. Really, it's the most challenging, because with the soulmate, the first group that I talked about, you've both learned the lessons, you're both ready for love, so it's more easier to gel, to come into union with each other. And with the twin flame version, it is more challenging. Can you have a soulmate which has elements of a soulmate and a twin flame? Yes, that is definitely possible. Okay, it doesn't mean that your soulmate is in one category, but it's for you to go through the experiences, and it's for you to learn. And the key thing to learn is self-love. Self-love, self-awareness, no more settling. You are connected with someone else who's your soulmate, or your soulmate is connected with you, and the whole purpose is no more settling. It means that maybe your soulmate has settled, or you have settled for less in life, less for love, even loving yourself less. That's why you come together. That's why it can feel challenging at times, that you're like, why am I with this person? Because this person obviously is not ready for this union. Well, that person is ready for the union, but they are afraid, because it means that they have to make a lot of changes. within themselves, and they have to look after themselves better, and they have to fully love themselves and then also share this. Because with a lot of soulmates that are much more in the low vibration, which have much more to learn, they fear a lot. They fear the new, the unknown, because they, of course, feel that, oh, that's my soulmate, I love them, but a lot of changes are going to happen to my life. And with most of them that are in the lower vibration, they're more focused on the material world, okay? So it's old belief systems, material world, old ways of living that does not work for them anymore. Old patterns does not work for them anymore. So to let go of that, many of them will struggle. Many of them will come to the end of a struggling stage that they know they just have to open, surrender to the divine, and also surrender to the connection, because they're not able to move forward. So they will experience a lot of feeling tired. They will experience a lot of their body showing them signs like you can't move forward, you're feeling sick, you're feeling tired. Headaches is also a big part of that, because their soul is showing them, no, it's impossible. You have to change. This is your person to help you to come into union. There's a bigger purpose. It's no more just about you. It's about self-love, of course, that's the most important, the union, and a higher purpose. Okay? The last one I'm definitely going to talk about, and this is a very difficult one. This is a challenging one because I've also experienced it in the past, and I know some of you have probably experienced it too. Here comes the karmic. Is this a soulmate? No, it is not a soulmate, but it is a soul that comes into your life that teaches you lessons through pain, so really challenging lessons. So you love yourself, so you awaken more, so you don't settle. And I do understand, because there's so many different names for so many different soul connections, that a lot of you will probably get confused. I understand that I also got confused in the past, because I have experienced all the different kind of like elements. But when it comes to the karmic, it is somebody who's very toxic, who does not love themselves, who is an energy vampire and would lean on your energy. So you would always feel drained and you'd always feel pulled down. Okay? And they're very codependent, continuously codependent. So this is not a soul connection to come into your life to help you to learn to raise your vibration. It is a soul that comes into your life to teach you to love yourself, and actually teaches you to choose a better partner, a better relationship, and a better situation. It is very challenging, because in many cases, what a lot of people do when they are in a karmic connection and they receive a lot of pain from the other person, because the no person struggling, person has been through a lot of traumas, the first thing that they always want to do is to save that person. But that person is not ready and is not willing at that moment to work on themselves, to raise their vibration, and they don't want to be saved. So one thing I definitely want to share with you, you can't help someone if they're not willing to help themselves. So this is the most important lesson. And even me being as a spiritual coach, let me tell you, I get it many times. Clients that come to me that are not open, I can even feel if they're not open, not ready to really look at the situation, and they need the help, I cannot force them to take the messages that the divine gives me. I can only support them. And when they're ready, I know they'll come back around, and then they'll start doing the process. So this is what happens in the karmic relationship. So when you experience it, that it's a lot of toxic energy, a lot of toxic energy. And this is a very difficult relationship or connection you might have. And in many cases, it does feel like it's a soul connection, or it's your person. But you really need to dig deep when you enter a karmic relationship, that you ask yourself, okay, is this a karmic? Is it continuously toxic? Does this person love themselves? Do they want to take, themselves out of this connection? So you will definitely feel more low vibration energy, more toxic energy. You won't have stages of feeling low vibration and then high vibration, them showing they love you one moment, then showing that they're feeling down, then they love you, then they're feeling down. No, it will just be most of the time like very toxic, very low vibration. And you will definitely know, like, oh, this person is sent in my life because I need to raise my vibration and I need to love myself much more better. Okay, I just wanted to make this short for everyone, just to explain a bit. So if you have any questions, you can ask your questions now. Don't do it all at once. So I don't know if Cecilia can check who's in the chat, and whoever wants to ask a question, then Cecilia mentions the name. Then we can just go more deeper into your question. So let's see if anyone has any questions. What is the best way to deal with the doubt that you will ever come into union? Okay, so remember, doubts and fears have nothing to do with reality. But when you're in a soul connection and you have doubts, the first thing is to ask yourself, are those your doubts? So it's really like tuning into your energy. So let me give you an example. You're in a soul connection, and usually your fears are that your person, can't love you, won't love you enough. And on your person side, your person thinks like, oh, I can't work on this union, it can't come together. So when you get the doubt feeling, because you will feel it energetically through the connection you have with your person, of, oh, I don't think this union can come together, you will feel like, okay, this is not my fear, this is not my doubt, so it is my other person's doubt. And what's most important to understand and to learn, if you bring your fears into your connection, so remember, what you think, you bring about, you bring it out into the physical. And if your person does that the same, then you're going to have a lot of fears and you're going to have a lot of doubts. And it's just going to go, through each other. Your person's going to feel your doubts, you're going to feel your person's doubts. But what is most important at the time when you do feel that, and it's not the same like your intuition, because your intuition tells you that you do love that person and you know the person loves you. But that's the moment to actually cleanse. That's the moment to take your power back. That is just the moment for you to say, okay, to your person, like, I love you. I don't fear loving you. I don't fear us not coming together. It's a possibility, and we're being called forward to come together. Because in many cases, when fear comes into the connection, it's always that one is in a stuck situation, or they're in their old life that they still need to end before they start the new life. But to remember, you are part of their new life. And that's when the challenging part comes, because you don't see it with your eyes. And we are so used to see things with our eyes. So when you feel it, you get confused. And that's when the fear creates, because you're like, but I don't see it in the physical, my person not coming together with me. I don't. So that's the thing. Because fears, they come from the mind. And what does your mind do? Actually protect you from being hurt. But the mind doesn't make any thoughts that deal with the reality. So the best thing in the situation when you feel the doubts is to filter, are these my doubts? Did I used to think of these things before I met my person? Or are they the doubts of my person? First filter and then cleanse those thoughts, because they don't have to do with reality. Sharina, how to help your person if they are in denial? You can't help your person fully. You can only support your person. When your person is in denial, they know the change needs to happen. They know that. They know they need to say goodbye to the part of denying, and they know they have to go to a stage of acceptance. So whenever your person is in denial in the connection, there's certain elements that are not good for you or your person, and you see your person struggling, don't overprotect your person or don't say too much to your person, because your person needs to learn those lessons. Your person might need more time. That's what they are showing. I need more time. I can't accept this part in our connection, in our relationship. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. You being compassionate, loving, and understanding to your person will show your person, like, okay, I understand you need more time for this stage. I understand you need more time for this part. Because the more they fight, the more they will struggle. And eventually they'll keep on hitting that same wall, and then eventually they'll like stop. But if you mother them too much, they're not going to listen. And the divine is not showing you to help them. The divine is only showing support them, but let them come to you with questions. And when you feel that they're struggling, and it's not always easy to be there for someone who's struggling and does not want your help or does not want your advice, you have to pull yourself back, and you just have to let spirit and the divine go through that lesson with them. There's not much that you can do, but you can express your emotions to your person and say, I find it difficult to see you struggling. I can't handle this. I don't understand why you would put yourself through this. Just to make them more awake and make them more enlightened. But at the end of the day, it's just showing you that they just need more time to go through that certain stage before they can say goodbye to stuck pattern or stuck ways, and then to enter the new stage. So yes, it's not easy. That's one thing I definitely can tell you. But it's for you to understand you have to go in the supporting role and not in the helping role. They have to discover, and they will discover eventually, what they need to end the denial stage and then go to acceptance and then continue working on themselves. Because all it just shows is that they see you growing, you're more further in your growth, they're behind. So they do have the fear of you might growing too fast and you leave them right behind. But you showing them being compassionate and loving to say, look, I don't want to leave you behind. But you need to also work on yourself. You need to also grow. And we can still walk next to each other, no matter what life path you have and no matter what life path they have. So that's the only thing you can do, just to try and, explain it in that way to your person, just to show them like, look, I'm supporting you, you're struggling. Um, you don't need to struggle that much. But at the end of the day, they have to make the choice of how they move forward. So I hope that answers your question. I saw a lot of people in the chat. Any more questions, you guys? And what about if the person says they can't be in a relationship with you and disappears, they leave you, no contact? The physical is not really the important part when it comes to the connection. Like I explained, that's when they do the running game. Okay, so they're just showing you that they're not ready to come into union in the connection. And they just think, oh, in the physical, I just disappear. But at the end of the day, when the divine calls you and that person into union, it is very difficult for that person to ignore what the divine is calling them to. So there will be chances and there will be opportunities that the divine brings you together, if it's in the physical or that energetically it's very intense. And of course, the one that is the runner, that is in denial, not acceptance, a feeling they're not worthy, of the union, they're not worthy of the high vibrational love. They will, of course, come to a stage that they can't fight it because it's their soul. Their soul is awakening, and their soul definitely wants to come into that union, into the relationship, because you come together and it's not just, oh, by coincidence you come together. No, the divine puts you both together, on each other's paths for a reason. So them denying, like, oh, I can't do this, it's too much for me, it's too much change for me, it's just the divine telling them that, look, you can try and suffer to hold on to your old life, your old situation, but at the end of the day, you have to move forward. And if they choose to move forward in a difficult way, so like denial, distancing, no contact, but you keep on feeling the person and you're like, oh, why do I keep on feeling the person? Because it's obvious they don't want to be with me in union and they've distanced myself, so why am I still feeling the person? That's the divine actually showing you and showing the other person, like, no, 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 it's not over. So that person is really going through challenges because they want to control the situation. They want to control the outcome, but eventually that is so difficult because the calling gets louder and it gets louder, gets louder, and the soul keeps on telling them that no, you have to leave this old situation. So yeah, this is your soulmate, this is the most important part and important soul in your life, so you can't avoid it. So many people that try to avoid it, and I tell you, there's a lot of people that try to avoid soul connections because they find it so overwhelming. They still feel the calling, so they still have to learn the lesson. Oh, sorry, I didn't see what you said, Jessica, because I was still doing the other reading. So maybe can somebody type something, then I can see Jessica's question, because it really just pops up and then it goes and then it pops up. So I just get like a few seconds on YouTube. Okay, do you believe people can put spells and dark things on people? Yes, they can. It's even happened with me in the past, but I don't believe those people are powerful than the divine. That's one thing I can say. And people who do that, let me just tell you, you're going to bring a lot of bad karma in your life, and you're not going to succeed with using dark magic. One thing that I'm really, and that's just my own opinion, dark magic does not come from the divine, okay? Me being like a light worker and a soul reader, I just believe you'd rather have the divine, you know, working beside you than doing something that is not good. And many people, and let me just tell you, many people that are in panic when it comes to relationship and go to someone to get someone back, it always has a bad outcome. And many times you will not get, if it's your person, back as they are. You will get something totally back. So that's something that I definitely do not advise to do. So because it goes everything against all the spiritual laws of the divine, and it only brings more bad luck in your life to do those things. And people that do that, or people that go to people who do that, just shows you they're stuck, they're in low vibration, they're in panic, they don't know what to do. And many people, of course, do that when they're in desperation. But eventually they find out you cannot go above what the divine wants or puts together. And one thing I definitely felt from my guides, and I told many of my clients, last year, the big awakening was also like the end stages of people trying to manipulate with dark magic, breaking up people, if it's family members, doesn't matter, ex-partners, or interfering in people's lives or bringing them bad luck. Last year was one of like the big like tower moments that the divine has intervened to say like, no, you can't, change the plans. It comes directly from the divine, and no human being is capable to go above the plans of the divine. So I would advise all of you out there, do not touch it, do not work with it, because you do not know what you bring forth, okay? And you do not know what you're going to deal with. And it's really, really not good, because I have had a lot of clients in the beginning of doing this work, especially on the spiritual sites, that spells have been done on. And let me just tell you, it is not a good thing. And it was so difficult for me to help them into clear. And that's why I also don't want to do that work full time. I rather help people, spiritual awaken or ground. But no, it doesn't end well, let me just say. So for any of you, please stay far away from that. Okay. Let's see, were there any questions after Jessica? Anybody else asked any questions? Oh, no, my dear. Let me just tell you. Okay. Um, I've been through a lot in my life. Let me just tell you, I did not become a spiritual teacher overnight. And I've been through a lot of pain. So all the clients that come to me that have questions about a certain situation, yes, I would have to go through it before. That's why I help in certain situations. And yes, this is the stage, the energy stage that the divine has chosen, that I help a lot, especially in the soul connections, especially with the souls that are stuck, that need help, that need to come forward because union needs to happen. And yes, life is very challenging. Yeah, but I do believe, Jessica, if you just keep on cleansing and grounding yourself, your person will definitely feel that. And I do feel also that your person needs to free themselves from, their past. But just remember, a lot of people have a lot of karmic lessons, okay? And what I strongly do feel is that your person is going through a lot of karmic lessons, but it's happening all at once. And your person definitely has to go through them, to free himself and to become more grounded. You are more further in your life experience and your soul lessons. That's why you are more free, you're more open, you're more liberated. So remember, the divine helps everyone. Some of us will go through a lot of heavy karmic lessons in certain lifetimes. So it means a lot of pain, a lot of stuckness and to release. And others of us have already passed that stage. Those are more the old souls. And we're coming more to the raising the vibration, the creating what we have to put on earth to help others and to support others. So one most important thing is, when you're in a connection and your person still has a lot of karmic lessons to do and you don't know what to do, you just cleanse, you ground yourself, okay? Cleanse your chakras. Chakras is the most important to do. Just keep on cleansing your chakras. You need to do that because your person will feel that and they'll feel triggered. There are many YouTube sites that you can do. Sometimes I even put meditations from Kali, okay? Kali is also a god which also helps to release negative energies. You can also do that. And then you mention your person's name. That also helps a lot. And there's also other sites. I will put it on the community page of my YouTube channel if you want, Jessica, that can help you. I've also been doing it for myself. There is one YouTube channel where it clears negative energy from ancestral, so it's from past generations of family. You can also do that. I've done that for myself because I know a bit more about my family and the generations before and the struggles we had to go through, because I found out that I come from a very spiritual family, but eventually, when it came to like the Middle Ages and those kind of like times, my family was blocked because we weren't allowed to do the spiritual work that I am doing now. We were blocked in many ways. So on the community page, I'll just put a lot of things that you can do, even cleansing the heart chakra. So remember, whatever you do for yourself to help yourself ground, to cleanse, your person also feels that, and your person also feels that trigger. But you just have to try, and I know that's not always easy. It's having the patience of supporting them, and it's having the patience of asking the divine to help them to go through those karmic lessons. It's not easy. It's really, really not easy. If I can just give you my experience with my first soulmate, I couldn't be with that person anymore because they had a very karmic family, and I felt really the energies. And when I was with that person, and once, I slept in the house, his mother's house. I could not sleep. I just felt all these things telling me to leave the house because, of course, yeah, I'm a light worker and it just doesn't, mix with the family. And eventually I came to the stage that soulmate said to me, well, you have to choose your spirituality or you have to choose my family. And I thought to myself, well, we're definitely not going to do that, because that means if I don't choose my spirituality, then this life might as well be over, because I didn't feel that that's possible. That's a part of me. Just giving you an example of my experience. So eventually, with a lot of pain, I said goodbye to, and that was my first soulmate. So imagine my first soul experience. So I just said goodbye to that person, and I said, I'm very sorry, but I'm not going to go down that path. If you choose your karmic family, that is your choice, but it's just a road of suffering, because I really felt that he's also a light worker, but he's struggling with his family, and he just couldn't choose his own life, and he chose his karmic family. So eventually I had to say goodbye. And yes, it was very challenging. I had a lot of serious heartbreak for 6 months. I had to definitely look for a healer that I found to help me. But this is just a bit of an example, that I want to give. But I made the choice to say, like, not in this lifetime. And I just said, I had to free myself from that, because I also have this soul mission to do, to help others and to support also others with what they're going through in their soul lessons. And I just said to my soulmate that I can't do what you want. I just can't, only live for you, because I also have a soul purpose. I'm awakened to do this. So that's just a bit of an example that I can give you. It's not the same situation as with your person, but I just feel your person has to go through a lot of those karmic lessons all at once, go through it, break through it, and then free themselves. Okay. Anyone else in the chat? Any more questions? Remember, I'm here, so whatever questions you have, okay, you guys, this is your time, so just go for it. Ask anything. Let's just see if there's any more questions. There's nothing that I missed. And I hope you guys like the topic that I chose. We can do also other more spiritual topics next to the readings. You're welcome, Cecilia. Oh, that's good. That's good. And I think for next week, I'm definitely going to let you guys choose. Okay. If there's any topics you want to talk about on Friday. I'm editing the love readings, so I'm hoping at least from Sunday I can post them all up, so check that. And I'm on TikTok. Really, I'm enjoying TikTok because it's really fun and it's lovely people over there. So for those of you who joined me over there, thank you very much. So is that it? I think I'm gonna pull just one more angel card and then I'm gonna leave you guys. Okay, just an extra blessing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking out your time. And thank you for all the likes. Okay, let's just give one more blessing card. This is just a collective message. Here it comes out for all of you. Okay, so Archangel Raphael, the healing angel, is with you supporting your healing work. So this is most important, and I feel this is for all of you beautiful ladies out there. Do your healing, protect yourself, because there's a lot of challenging energies definitely during this time, and you need to cleanse yourself, ground yourself. So do your healing. And I do feel for some of you, you are natural born healers, definitely comes through your hands. So do healing work, do whatever is drawn to you. For me, it is Qigong. It might be Tai Chi for you, or it might be Reiki. So just get it started and go for it. Okay? Just do the healing work, because it's definitely the time for it. Okay, have a good evening. Sending lots of love and light. And I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye, guys.